Hello, I hope you're enjoying John's poetry channel. I have something a little different for you today. Um, the great and famous Irish poet W.B. Yeats based one of his well-known poems, When You Are Old and Grey and Full of Sleep, on a sonnet by the 16th century French poet Pierre Ronsard. This is one of Ronsard's sonnets pour Hélène. So what I'm going to read to you is the Ronsard sonnet in its original French, then my translation of it, and then the Yeats poem, When You Are Old and Grey and Full of Sleep. I will apologise in advance to anyone who can speak French very fluently, because although I know the language well enough to have made this translation, it's highly unlikely that my pronunciation is going to be spot on, and I may have made some glaring errors, in which case, please bear with me, but I'll read it as best I can. Sonnet pour Hélène, 243. Quand vous serez bien veillé au soir à la chandelle, assise auprès du feu, évidente et fiante, direz, chantant mes vers en vous émerveillante, Ronsard me célébrer du temps que j'étais belle. Là, vous n'aurez servante, ayant telle nouvelle, déjà sous le labeur à demi sommeillante, qui, au bruit de mon nom, ne s'aille réveillante. Bénissante votre nom de louange immortelle. Je serai sur la terre et fantôme sans eau. À les ombres myrteux je prendrai mon époux. Vous serez au foyer une vieille accroupie, regrettant mon amour et votre fier dédain. Vivez, si bon croyez, n'attendez à demain, criez dès aujourd'hui les roses de la vie. That was written by Ronsard in 1587. And now this is my English version, where I'm aiming to create the effect of the poem rather than a very literal word-for-word translation. When you are very old, working, spinning in candlelight at evening, you will gently recite my verses to yourself, marvel, and say, once I was beautiful. In those days Ronsard celebrated me. Your servants, half sleeping as they work, will awaken hearing thus your deathless praise. By then I shall be under the earth, a boneless ghost at rest in the myrtle shade, and you will be an old woman crouching by the hearth, regretting my love, regretting your proud disdain. And now finally the W.B. Yeats poem, which he wrote not exactly as a translation, but to try and recreate the spirit of Ronsard's poem. And this is a pretty well-known poem by Yeats. When you are old and grey and full of sleep, and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read and dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love false or true. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars.